Hello, I'm Rick Stivers with YoungMartin'sReels, and today we're going to be working on a ABU Garcia Cardinal 556. This is a pretty dusty looking reel. I found it in the shed. This one was made in Korea, and I happen to know the history behind this reel. I actually bought this reel sometime around 1983 to go on a fishing trip. My son and I were going to go pier fishing with a guy in North Carolina. So we bought this set of reels, rods and reels. I think we paid $25 for each set. So we ended up spending about $50 for the rods and reel combinations, two of them. And these have been mostly sitting ever since. So let's take it apart, clean it up, and see if we can't get it back to fishing. This reel is functional. It works. The bail trips. Everything does what it's supposed to do on this reel. The anti-reverse, let's see if it works. Yes, anti-reverse works, although it's not that positive anti-reverse that we have on a lot of reels today. This is a rear drag reel, so let's go ahead and take it apart. Okay, next we're going to take this side plate off. Okay, we off to the side. All right, now you may want to notice on the main gear here how this is set up. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I've just been in here again because I went through this whole reel because I wasn't sure how it went together and popped out. Notice this little clip right here? Pay very close attention to that clip, because the first thing I did was I moved something in here, and when I did, this clip shot out and went over my shoulder and disappeared for a while. So it took me a while to find it. I didn't even know what it looked like. I didn't know what it was. So I found it. I found out where it goes. We're back now. This is your cross wind for your axle shaft. And this is your main gear. Now, when I was in here before, I put these two washers, these two shims in the wrong place. These two shims are going to go up here after we've put on the crosswind. Alright? Now, the part that had me baffled in this reel was right here. If you notice, everything slides in and out. Well, I've got this block right here with this pin, and the pin comes out. And I kept thinking, well, okay, the pin should relieve it then. Well, that's not true. The pin just sits there. What you need is to grab hold of this clip right here. It's a plastic clip, and it actually clips to the shaft. And I'm hoping we're going to be able to get it off without breaking it. Okay, that got the clip off. Now, with the clip off, the axle shaft will slide out. Now that we've got the axle shaft out, we can go ahead and loosen the nut on the rotor. And this particular nut loosens in the clockwise direction. Okay, so we remove that. This is a keyed block that fits in behind it, and then your rotor comes off. Okay, now with your rotor off, you've got a washer. And we have our gear and one shim. Okay. Let's come apart that far. Now let's loosen this, and that should loosen up this shim in the back. Let's try this one. Okay, as you can see, it's just a clip. Spring-loaded clip. There goes the clip. Now with that out, your drag knob will unscrew off the back. With that unscrewed off the back, your drag stack will come out. There's your drag stack. Now this drag stack has hardly ever been used. This reel probably got maybe 4 or 5 fishing trips and 35 years on it, and most of the rest of the time it's set. So it didn't get a whole lot of use, and I can promise you it didn't get any big fish, so the drag has probably never ever had any action to it. Okay, it's oiled and clean. So let's go ahead and take it apart, let you see how it goes together. I'm going to move the body over here out of the way along with the rotor. Okay, you've got this concave or curved flat plate in the back. In front of that, you've got a flat plate. Then you've got one of your drag washers. Then a metal washer, which this one's got a little gunk on it. We're going to clean that off. Then we've got another drag washer. Then we've got another plate. Then we have a very, very soft and pliable washer, drag washer. And then we've got the gear here. And then there's another washer that goes on the opposite side of the gear. All right, so that's the format that it all goes together. We're going to do a quick wipe down of these parts, clean them up, and lubricate them. I'm going to lube the drag washers with cow's drag grease, and I'm going to put you on fast forward here so you don't have to listen to me, and I'm not going to talk during all this. So this is going to go on a very, very fast forward trip to cleaning up these and lubricating and reassembling. Now before we install the drag washers, what I want to do is go ahead and get the rotor back on with the gear. Okay, we're going to slide that back in and put the washer back on, put the rotor back on. And we are going to reinstall this keyway and put the rotor nut back on. Remember that this is reverse threaded, so you're going to have to screw it on counterclockwise. Tightening that down. Okay, it should spin freely, and it does. Okay, let's add a little bit of oil to that bushing. Okay, now I believe we are ready to reinstall the drag assembly. Now once you've got it in there, set inside, what I have found is you want to go ahead and take your axle shaft and slide it in and get it to where it's inside there. Otherwise, if you tighten the drag nut down and then try to put the axle shaft in, it won't go. Okay? With your drag adjustment nut all the way tightened down, you'll see it will open up the groove again on the drag, and you can put your spring clip back in. It should just snap into place. And if you need a screwdriver to help get it in there, that's fine. There. Okay. Once you've got to that point, it's time for this clip to go back on. You don't want to break it, so you want to put a little lube inside where it's going to snap onto the shaft, and put a little lubrication on the shaft itself. Line it up into the two notches. There. Apparently it snaps in much easier with the pin out. Next, we're going to put our main gear back in. Make sure you've got it well lubricated. Slides in. Okay, we're going to spin it around until we're close on the big loop for the cross wind. And go ahead, slip it over. Rotate as necessary to get it to line up with the cross wind block. Then install your shim. And reinstall the cover. Stop. That's why you keep all your parts over here where you can see them. We still have to put this back in. What this is it's a click ratchet for the adjustment knob, so you can audibly hear that you're clicking it. Okay, we're on the crosswind block. Everything's in place. Let's go ahead, add a little bit of lubrication here, because this is going to be rotating inside up against the case. And let's install the screws. All right, let's spray a little penetrating spray on the spool, on the rotor. Let's scrub it up. Come back with a clue tip, clean up inside where it's difficult to reach. And let's wipe it all down. Okay, we're going to add a little oil up here to the bail. Work it back and forth a few times. Let's add a little bit more. All right, that quieted it down a lot. Wipe the excess off. That brings us to the spool. Wipe the spool out. All right, snap the spool back on. Tighten the drag. There we go, got a nice drag. Keep tightening. There we go, can't move it at all. That's with it at 8. Let's back it off to 0. There we go. We can back it off even more. Another whole 0. Okay. Okay, when you go to fish these, you want to adjust the drag. When you get done fishing, or you're going to store it, go ahead and back your drag off. That'll keep it from squeezing all the grease out and keep it from freezing those drag washers together. All right, and this is the Cardinal 556 by ABU Garcia. And I think I'm going to turn this one over to my grandson as soon as I get a cap for this end. It's a very nice little reel.